Alright guys, we are coming back for another Dokkan battle video, so I felt like it was a good time. I wanted to get this video up. Should you summon, should you skip? I think this is the most obvious answer of all time. I think most players would just look at this, look at the character, and just instantly be like, oh yeah, of course, skip. I don't think Dokkan has ever dropped a banner, ever, that was more of like a free pass, and it feels like there will be such limited consequences to the player, right? Like, I don't know, maybe there's like some character, think of like a Lord Slug type character, right? Lord Slug, or just like a Dokkanfest from kind of like a niche villain that would be on kind of like, like a low amount of categories or something like that. EGL Cell was a major celebration character, so not really him. But like if we just go to quickly like Terrifying Conquerors and look at villains, right? Something like Bojack back in the day, STR Slug. I mean, Piccolo Jr. is a major celebration character, so I don't want to use him as an example. Maybe like LR Turles, right? Like those types of characters where it's like, you probably would want to skip it, but maybe they would drop some type of tough category mission or something, and then you'd be like, damn, like I kind of wish I would have had that character. I don't think with this Android 16, like, I don't think that that's going to happen. Like, oh my god, there's this crazy 11th anniversary Android mission. If only I had summoned on Android 16. I don't really think that's going to be a thing that's going to be very likely to happen, right? 16 just doesn't really have many categories, and he is, specifically meant to kind of be there for Android characters. Now, to be fair, right, all allies get his defensive support. And I mean, with one Android ally in the team, he does have, the whole team gets an extra 16% defense for the entire fight, which is solid. But I just look at this guy and I don't foresee him being like a character where it's like you're like a free-to-play player and it's like part 2 of the 11th anniversary and there's some difficult mission in like a Supreme Magnificent Battle or a Red Zone, and you go, oh fuck, if only I'd pulled Android 16, this guy would really help. I could be wrong, I often am, but I don't see that being a thing, right? And so Android 16 himself I think is pretty good, but there is going to be another major issue when it comes specifically to using Android 16, right? When you go in the game and you pull up that friend list, a lot of times it's going to look pretty bad. Now, I've been pleased. There have been a number of Android 16s available. It is just that, a flood of 55% Android 16 friends, which, this is the type of character that I would say that does leave a lot to be desired. I mean, a 55% Android 16 is hitting beyond a feather, and it robs him of some of his super high-end tanking, which he would be able to have, if he was rainbowed and he had really good equips and yada, 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 right? So I do think, like, it's just a free skip. Because, also, Android 16 is pretty much only available on his own team. Like, if we just look at, like, the good leaders that we've got available here, it's 16 and Tao are the only 220% leads that we have available to us. And with Tao, 16 is not even on the 220. So it's just, there is just not a lot of avenue for Android 16 to be able to help, I think, most players. The other thing, too, since he's pretty much restricted to his own team, you have to pull his banner unit, too. You must get Android 17. This Android 17 is so important between his dodge, damage reduction, his support, his 2-turn support, but most notably, I would say pretty much the most important thing for this is the 2-turn support ability that Android 16 has. This is something that is going to change the look of the team quite a bit, right? If you actually have this 50% defense for 2 turns, that is going to do so much for a lot of these, kind of like, maybe okay-ish, but, subpar type characters. Some of these characters you might run. STR Hellfighter 17 is solid. STR Cell is solid. AGL Cell is solid. You got, like, a bunch of solid characters that aren't elite that you could kind of, like, buff up a little bit, which is good, right? 16 on that team is going to be able to push a lot of these characters' heads above water when it comes to taking some of these like just like gargantuan damage super attacks that they could be taking. Definitely a thing, right? So, Android 16, while good, it's an obvious skip because you need him and you need SCR 17 only for that one team. And 16 is not on a lot of category teams that could buff potential, of like, you know, help you for like some really nasty category mission that would be upcoming. So I just don't really think that the need is there to summon on this banner, right? The next character we have up is Tao. I do like Tao. I think Tao is a solid character. He's a solid TUR. He has a similar problem to 16, which is that we have to run his own team. And he has a similar problem to 16, and that he's not a popular character. So, you know, people don't really give a shit about him, and they're not really putting him on the friends list, so you're not going to see him on the friends list much. If you can run Tao's team, he'll be effective. But it's going to be a thing of, you know, can you find a friend Tao to be able to run, you know, Mercenary Tao with? I would say probably not. There's not going to be too many Taos on the friends list. So, you know, not even really like this guy is going to be that necessary. What about some of his categories? Does he have rare shit here? I mean, he is a Dragon Ball Saga character. So, you know, I could see a difficult Dragon Ball Saga mission showing up at some point. But there's usually not too many summonable units on there. So, maybe not, right? Maybe not. Earthling sometimes does have some tough missions, but you definitely don't need to summon to try and hopefully get him. Next up, we have 1718, Turn Power 1718. They're trash, complete ass. The good thing, though, is that next year, they are up for EZA now in 2026. This character would have been the start of October character in 2023. That time slot character, Path to Power Kid Goku, EZA'd for Saiyan Day this year. Now, I don't think that this character would EZA for Saiyan Day, but my point is, best case scenario, this character could EZA in March, right? Only about 3 months away. That's within their own possibility. Right now, they're absolute fodder. They suck dick, donkey balls, but in 3 months, could they be super good? Sure. Next, we have Super Trunks, kind of the same deal. He is complete ass cheeks, but he is a 2023 character, which means, you know, his EZA could be unlocked, you know, in 3 months, right? Like a lot of these 2023 characters, we could see them EZA as soon as March of 2026. Trunks, in particular, being a Saiyan, does lead me to believe he probably has a bit of a higher chance to EZA that soon than 17 and 18, but, you know, you never know what it is that we could see. This is a character, well, actually really 17 and 18 as well. These are characters in particular that I really am rooting for, and we can add Kale to this as well. Kale, Super Trunk, 17 and 18. These are some of the big failures of 2023. Occasionally I see a tweet on Dokkan Twitter. I mean, usually it's like a baiting tweet or someone who's not really that into the game or something like that, talking about how bad 2025 is. But like, how quick people are to forget like some of these characters, right? Like I don't know. Cell, at least now on this Android team, like, you know, we could use him a little bit. Blue Kaioken, as dog shit as he is, I mean, you can use him. You know, he is a dodging character. It's really only Daima Vegeta who I think is an absolute garbage bin. You know, on the level of like some of these characters, right? So, Kale, kind of the same thing. Universe 6 to me, though, I don't know. Like, is that LR... Like, Kale needs to EZA quick and hope that there isn't crazy power creep. That LR Kale and Khalifa would be good for this character. Because remember, I mean, this is not going to change, right? So she's still going to need that Khalifa. We'll see. For Kale. But hopefully, hopefully they have celebrations built around some of these characters. Like, hopefully they don't EZA Kale just in like some transformation boost celebration or something. Like, she needs to be with Universe 6 characters. We have AGL Cell. AGL Cell is certainly solid. You know, Android 16 can help him out, but I would say when it comes to building the Android 16 team, I'm looking to get the 2 cells off the team quick. Unless the Part 2 Carnival LR ends up actually being like a perfect cell. If the Part 2 LR is going to help androids, I would think it would be in the form of Carnival Perfect Cell, right? Not perfect form Cell, but quite literally perfect Cell. This guy right here. Right, so we, STR Cell's perfect form, I would think just perfect Cell could be the Carnival Part 2 LR. Which would make sense, because we did get Super Saiyan 2 Gohan for the anniversary, and then in December they could do Carnival Perfect Cell. If that happened, the Android team would change quite a bit in my eyes, right? Because let's just say that this Carnival LR is with like a top 5 level power. Then all of a sudden, that hugely helps the Android team. And it would make AGL Cell and STR Perfect Form Cell very important, because we would, like, I would assume he'd be the strong, like, this theoretical Carnival Cell would be the strongest character on the team. Then we would really want, like, AGL Cell with these links and STR Cell with his links to be on the team. But otherwise, if that doesn't happen, AGL Cell and probably STR Perfect Form Cell are some of the first characters I'd be looking to take off of the Android team. Maybe LR Super 17? Maybe. Because, I mean, AGL Cell, at least, is a dodging character for most of the fight. I mean, even in perfect form, he's able to dodge, right? And then STR Perfect Form Cell, you know, he'll die, but, I mean, he'll revive, and then he gets very good after he revives. So, maybe LR Super 17 would be the first character we'd like, look to take off, but I've never really been too enamored with the way Cell is set up. I would give him, though, that it does help that he has these two enemy buffs, both first form Cell and second form Cell. They both have these, right? Which really helps when it comes to tanking some of these big attacks or dodging some of these big attacks. But we'll see what the outlook of this team is going to look like, you know, at the end of the month. Because remember, one of the most important things we need for this team is more Android 17 and Android 18 characters to be able to trigger this guy's unit super attack. Is very important, right? Next, we have this character. I think that this character is just like, nah. Just NO. No. Yeah, no. I mean, maybe this Gohan, or this Goku could be okay in a fight without AoEs, without locking, like, you know, without sealing. Although, yeah, no locking, no sealing, no AoEs. I mean, they're just, yeah, so fuck off, yeah. And then we get to these two, who are EZing, and we'll see, right, what their EZAs are going to look like. Trunks, by the way, doesn't have a great situation for himself. Like, we could run him on the Blues team, which most of the time, if we're trying to win with Trunks, running him on the Blues team is probably what I'm going to do. But Trunks doesn't have, like, a good setup. I think the only 220 he has is on Tech Vegito, right? So Trunks is in not a good position. You know, so that's why maybe the Carnival would be more related to this Trunks. I would say that's much more likely. Maybe like a Super Vegeta and Super Trunks tag character or something, to me, seems like something that we could see. But I don't know with this Trunks. I mean, he doesn't have a setup right now, Trunks. So that makes me nervous. This character, I don't want to ever say they're unfumbleable unless we're talking about an anniversary Dokkan Fest. The kids on Twitter are still trying to fucking... They just outright lie. They just tweet a lie. I'm just tweeting a lie. I don't care. Right? Like, they pretend like it's anything other than the anniversary Dokkan Fests. Right? The carnivals and yellow coin LRs, year after year after year after year, have been weird, funky, subpar, or whatever for all these anniversaries, right? Minus the 9th anniversary. I think the Gammas and Carnival Gogeta were both W's, right? But besides 9th anniversary, all these other ones, that's what happens, right? But the anniversary Dokkan Fests, they're EZAs, unfumbleable, right? Dokkan's not going to do it. This character is kind of like low-key, like a little bit under the radar for a lot of people, but like a legendary character. This character is. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of EZA this character is going to get. Remember that they potentially could help out a lot. We could drop them on the Android team. They are going to trigger 16's unit super attack, giving us the 2-turn support. And they do have a Ghost Usher. We're not going to be able to use it specifically against 2 enemies, but once we kill Zamasu, then we could use it to Ghost Usher Goku Black. Don't forget that they have a Ki Blast nullification, right? Goku Black can be a bit random at times, but it's very common where he just supers in slot 3 for Goku Black. So, you know, we get this character in slot 3 right there. Goku Black tries to super them. Nullification. So, this character probably will be quite good on 16's team, but we'll see. All in all, chat, it spells skip the fuck out of this banner.